The data analyst bubble just popped. Entry-level jobs are drying up, certifications are getting ignored, and most aspiring analysts are stuck asking the same question. Now what? And here is what no one is telling you. The demand for data analysts and data science roles is actually growing. But with the increased demand, it means it's going to be more competitive now. And if you want to stand out in this new market, you don't need another course. You don't need a better resume. You need experience. Real, messy, client-driven experience, even if you're just starting out. And yes, I know what you're thinking. If I could get the experience, then I wouldn't be in this situation. Well, what if you could? Even as a beginner analyst, even as someone with no experience. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get it even with zero connections or job titles. So let me tell you a quick story. I was researching the best tech resumes that actually got people hired. I wanted to see what their structure was, why did they get hired, or how they wrote the bullets. And oftentimes they're not the prettiest. They weren't even the most optimized, but they worked. But here was a pattern that I kept seeing. And people in the comments also pointed this out. Things like, if I had the experience, then I would get hired too. The resume structure didn't even matter. They didn't get hired because of the resume. It was the experience behind it. And I kept seeing versions of this over and over again. And this is not to say that learning how to market and write a good resume won't help, because it absolutely will, because I've done it for friends who've had the skills. But it's an optimization once you have the skills and the experience. And after coaching aspiring analysts, helping coworkers and families get better jobs, building roadmaps, reading online about people who are struggling to get a job, I started asking myself, what is the one thing that makes everything easier? Easier resumes, easier interviews, easier portfolios, easier callbacks. And the one thing I thought of is experience. It's not theory, it's not more Udemy courses, it's experience. Let's talk about the average experience for people trying to break into data analytics. Most people are going to start with tutorials, YouTube, courses, certifications. That makes sense because that was a proven path before, and that's also how you feel safe and you're making progress. But learning is only half the game. After reading and researching a bunch of stories online, posts, threads, I keep seeing the same pattern. Once they're done learning and they start applying, they start to realize that many entry-level jobs aren't really entry-level, and most jobs are going to require 1 to 3 years of experience for data analysts and business analyst roles. Or they get to the end and they figured out they learned the wrong skills for their job market, or they learn some unnecessary skills. They're also, their portfolio projects are too generic and they don't have hands-on experience. So for those of you who know my background, I work at a Fortune 500 company within the top 5. So I get to work with a lot of great analysts, and these are top competitive analysts and roles. So I started to think about their journeys, at least the ones that I know of. Most of the analysts I know, they got their experience first before getting into this role. So what they did was typically working, getting their business knowledge, and then getting promoted internally or accepting a better analyst position on the outside. And this is exactly what I did previously too. I started in healthcare. I worked as a temp entry, data entry worker, then worked my way up, learned the business, eventually worked under the data analyst, then moved up to an analyst position, got to the data analyst position, then moved into a Fortune 500 company. I got the experience, but I was thrown into having to learn all of the skills. And a lot of the people that I know also learned a lot of the skills and the tools once they were in the job outside of the foundations of Excel. So I know business analysts who aren't that technical, who don't use SQL and they use Excel exclusively, and they're getting paid pretty well for it. They just have the skills with pharmacy data, benefits in the pharmacy management side, plus the unique systems that we use to be able to troubleshoot and figure out problems. Also, for me, every time that I've wanted to get better, I forced myself to upskill to solve existing business problems. So then I started to learn new tools, new languages to solve these complex problems. On the business side, people don't care about what you use. They care more about if you can solve their problems. And one of the best ways to learn is to put yourself into the deep end and actually serve a client. And this is something that I've always done. I always force myself to figure out on the job or create a role or experience where I could get it while learning. Also, my friends were given the same experience, messy spreadsheets, broken dashboards, vague business problems, but they also figured it out as well. They Googled it, they broke it, they rebuilt it, and then that's how they actually learn, through actual doing. And I think that's one of the things that's lacking in the job market right now. And here's the thing, this used to happen after you got the job, or you got a lower level job, or some job that was vaguely related to data, and then you moved up. But in today's job market, you need to prove that you can do the job before you're hired. So that's the catch 22. How can you get hired when you don't have the experience? How can you get the experience to actually get the job? Because back then, the market was booming. Google, IBM data analytics certifications did make you stand out because it was more rare back then. Now it just makes you look like everyone else. And now it's just a prereq to be able to get the job, because now it's easily accessible to everyone else. Because of this, we don't have a demand problem anymore. We have a supply problem. Too many certifications, too many bootcamp grads, too many aspiring analysts who all look the same on paper. So when recruiters open up LinkedIn or get flooded with resumes, they're not looking for perfect, they're looking for proof. Proof that you can clean up messy data, proof that you can figure it out, build dashboards that clients will actually use, proof that you can explain insights to a non-technical team and stakeholders. As things are more competitive, at least for the people who are willing to do just the bare minimum to get a job, that's where your opportunity lies. Do what most people won't, and what most people aren't thinking about. Work and get the experience you need as you learn in the very beginning, because no one's approaching it in this way. I've done this personally by volunteering my time until I have had enough experience to freelance and get paying clients. I did this while I was learning digital marketing and working for small businesses and entrepreneurs as I worked my day job. So I was working my day job in analytics. I studied, got certified in 10 different digital marketing courses, seminars from some of the top digital marketers, all the while I was a data analyst and had my business analyst roles. And this is something that you can do as well. And it's one that's recommended in the entrepreneur space a lot, is volunteer, get the job and the experience that you want, and then you'll be able to transition or build the business that you want. In this case, you're getting the experience of getting clients and building the experience that you need to become a data analyst, business analyst, or equivalent role later. Once you get the experience, you can eventually get paid for it while you're learning. Now, I get it. I was where you were at a long time ago when I first started in various things I wanted to do. From digital marketing to analytics, data science, there were various things that I just had to put myself out there and figure it out. Going out there to get experience and clients feels scary. Offering to help a small business, volunteering for a nonprofit, asking your friend's dad if you can fix their Excel mess for their business, it's not going to be as clean as another tutorial, but it's something that most people aren't doing, and it's real. Experience changes everything. Your resume becomes believable. Your interview stories hit harder. Your portfolio pieces make sense because they're actual portfolio projects that helped a business. Your confidence will skyrocket because you've actually done it. And this is something that most people never do, which is exactly why you should do it. Now, here is your challenge. We're just going to start simple. This week, just find one person or business with a messy data problem. Offer to help for free or for cheap, solve one thing, and ask what they wish they had. Build a dashboard, build one clean report, and make that project something that you'll be able to build your portfolio on. Your story will become a bridge to a real job. You don't need permission, you don't need proof, you just need to start. Now, that said, I'm going to be focusing this channel on this singular thing so that we can get you the experience. I'll be creating a lot of content in the future to help you get the experience you need. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. Also, if this is something that you want additional help with, I've created a free school community group, just application based, because we want dedicated and engaged people. But I'm going to be going through the same thing as well. I'm going to act like I'm a new data analyst. I'm going to build profiles on Upwork and then go through the entire steps to get clients and to get real experience, all from scratch. And I'm going to document it into the group. So there's going to be a link in the description below. Just fill out the survey, go through the application, and then if you make it in, I will see you there. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, career responsibly and watch this next video.